time now for the game preview presented by Ticketmaster here with head coach Kevin Stefanski. Kevin, back from the West Coast, maybe not the results that you were looking for, but what do you have to do now that you're back at home playing in front of your fans?
Well, very excited to be back in front of our fans. I've said it before, we have a very real advantage down there on the lake because they bring it. They bring it every Sunday. We've been down there. We feed off that energy, so we're excited to be back in front of our fans, excited back here in Berea, getting our work done and looking forward to Sunday.
What did those two losses maybe teach you guys the most? What's the focus of this week preparing for another AFC matchup with the Jags?
Yeah, I think you learn from every single game. It's a little bit easier to learn from wins than it is losses because that's obviously tough. But we learn from every time we're out there, and in those games we just didn't do the things that you have to do to win on the road. Obviously it goes, for me, going right back to taking care of the football. When you take care of it on the road, you give yourself a chance. Then the certain things offensively that we can do better. Defensively, we know we're working real hard on a couple things. And it's the normal course of an NFL season where you have a couple really good games, couple games that you didn't reach your potential. How can we fix it? That's what we've been focused on this week.
All right, looking ahead, Sunday, Jacksonville Jaguars. They have a situation where their quarterback is not known right now. What's that look like for you guys in preparation, knowing that it might not be Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, that's kind of the nature of the NFL a lot of times when you get to this point in the season. So we expect to see Trevor Lawrence. He's a great football player. He can throw it to all areas of the field. He's very, very athletic. So he's a challenge, and we'd expect to see him. C.J. Beathard is a backup that's done it for a long time, very intelligent, has played well. You saw in that game, he led them down there in a 2-minute drive. So C.J. can run their offense. He does a great job. So we'll see. We'll prepare for both guys because that's what you have to do in the NFL with injuries and not knowing. You got to prepare for both, but we would anticipate to see Trevor Lawrence.
All right, their offensive weapons, they've got a lot of threats for you guys. Evan Engram is the one that comes to mind, tight end. He's got the second most yards after carry behind David Njoku. What does he bring to the table, and how does he expand their offense?
Well, he's their leading receiver. They're looking to get the ball to number 17, and he does a great job. He's a tight end because he can block, and you'll see him in line, but at times he's a wide receiver. He's lined up out wide. He's lined up in the slot, and they're getting the ball to him any which way they can, and they're doing a great job. And like you mentioned, when the ball's in his hand, he really lights up. He makes guys miss. He can run you over. So just a great player.
Their run game too, right? How do you prepare for a strong run game, knowing that you might have had some challenges in the past of stopping that run and getting back and getting right?
Yeah, we anticipate that they're going to try to run the ball. That's what teams, obviously, you try to establish the run when you're playing us. So we anticipate that, and there's certain runs that you're going to see from teams. It's a copycat league like we talk about, so there's definitely certain runs that continue to show up, and we have to do our best to stop those runs, and then it'll be trying to find something else to stop.
Defensively, they might not be at the top of the list, but they've got Josh Allen. What does he do, and how do you stop him from crashing into the quarterback?
This is a really good defense. Statistically, they're up there. Personnel, I think, just from the front to the back, I think is really impressive. And they do a lot. They do a lot in coverage. They do a lot in the pressure game, a lot of different fronts. So you really have to be about your business on a preparation week to get ready to play a Jacksonville defense, because on 1st and 10, they may have 5 on the line, they may have 4, they may blitz the nickel, they may blitz the safety, they may blitz the linebacker. So they're kind of a group that does a lot, and it causes you to really prepare.
Now, in your preparation for that defense, your quarterback situation, again, waiting to see if Dorian Thompson-Robinson can clear concussion protocol, still practicing with Joe Flacco. For each of those options, what do they present? How do they match up well against the Jags, and why are you comfortable with either of those options for you?
Well, having played with both guys, I think we have 2 good football players, and we're excited about both guys. So for us, it's really about who's available and what gives us the best chance in a given week. We'll continue to see how Dorian does as he progresses through the protocol, but we are fortunate that we have guys that we trust.
Now, your weapons, right? You have another injury, Amari Cooper. Why does that receiver room, why do you have confidence in them that they can step up? Guys like Elijah Moore, Cedric Tillman, maybe.
Yeah, I've seen it from our guys, and you don't want any injuries, obviously, but if we are without Amari, we're going to need those guys to step up. You saw Elijah step up in the last game, really slid over into Amari's position for most of the game. Said we'll get opportunities, David Bell, Marquise Goodwin. I think we have a bunch of guys that really can help us in the pass game.
Defensively, Denzel Ward back at practice this week. How big of a boost would that be to have him back out there with that secondary?
Yeah, obviously we know Denzel's a great player, so anytime he's out there, it's a good thing for our defense. He gives us a guy that can make plays in the pass game. He's a leader of the football team, so just having 21 out there would be a big deal.
The big talk is the defense, right? Jim Schwartz was saying that the defensive line didn't do what they needed him to do. They need to be the engine. This week of practice, preparing for the Jags, what is that focus? How do you get those guys ready, Myles Garrett and company?
It's definitely a challenge, and it's a challenge for our entire defense. But Jim's right. We're always driven by that defensive line. That's why they're the engine. So we're counting on them, whether it's our defensive ends or defensive tackles. Everything starts up front when it comes to our defense. So we're excited about them bouncing back this week.
All right. Good luck on Sunday. Thanks so much, Coach.
Thanks, Ken.